what's going on everyone? Peter here. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for tuning in. For this video, I'll be featuring new Detolf lighting, some reposed figures, and by request, a brief guide to a few aerial poses that were not featured in my previous tutorial. I'll have timestamps in the description if you need them. But without further ado, let's get to it. Now, first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Sam from Leumas Lighting for reaching out to me. I've been using generic LEDs from Home Depot for a while now, which were great while they lasted. However, over time, some of them would droop down or turn yellow due to their heavy waterproof housing, and I can't buy new ones since they're no longer in production. But fortunately, Sam contacted me and was kind enough to offer me a couple of sample kits to try out and review, and I ended up buying enough for my main wall since I was really happy with his product and super friendly service. Now, for those like me who might be unfamiliar with Leumas Lighting, a few things to note is that as of this video, they offer two product options, a main kit and an extension kit. Prices and details are on their site, but the gist is that the main kit is pretty much everything you need to light up one Detolf and includes a control box that can power up to 3 Detolfs with just one plug. Meanwhile, the extension kit are just the LEDs and wiring for one Detolf, but without the power adapter or control box. It may seem a bit confusing at first, but they do have a reference chart on what you need to get based on how many Detolfs you have. Now, it's worth mentioning that the included remote is required to power them on at first since there's no manual on-off switch, so you'll need a CR2025 battery, which are like $5 for a 10-pack on Amazon. But once they're plugged in and powered on remotely for the very first time, they can respond fine to any wall switch, surge protector, or smart plug thereafter. I spoke to Sam about this minor limitation, and it turns out they'll be releasing an optional USB kit that won't need the remote or control box in the near future. And so, after lighting up my first few Detolfs, I decided to film the wiring and cable management process to showcase how easy it was. For context, the Home Depot lights had a lot of excess wiring that needed to be folded and connected in a snake-like pattern along the frame. But one of the biggest benefits and selling points for me was the single gray wire that connects all 4 LEDs on the same side of the cabinet while also matching the frame color and shelf height. Now, a side note, although the LED connectors are designed to be routed underneath the metal crossbar, I personally wedged them between the glass shelf instead to blend in better and prevent them from being pulled down over time. Doing so did create extra slack for the wire, but the included gray zip ties took care of that. As I always like to say, do what works best for you. And that's all there is to it. As for the review, the only minor downsides that I struggled to find was the required remote to power them on at first, and that they're slightly darker than the Home Depot lights. But overall, I gotta say I'm really happy with the results and that the pros far outweigh the cons. The LEDs are super thin and sleek, so they're not as noticeable and produce much less glare. They're measured to fit the standard shelf height, allowing for an incredibly easy setup, yet they still support adjusted shelves with taller figures as well. The included remote also allows for brightness control, which is pretty handy, and best of all was Sam's incredible customer service. From the start, he's been super friendly, open to feedback, and communicates really well. For example, I was concerned that the wiring wouldn't be compatible with different shelf heights, and not only did he mention that they can make custom length wires upon request, but without hesitation, he sent me a video unplugging his own lights to demonstrate how low the standard connector can go, which was greatly appreciated. Additionally, he's kindly offering a small discount to any viewers that might be interested in picking some up. Now, full transparency, I'm not getting any kickbacks or commissions from this, but if you like what you see and happen to be in the need of some new LEDs, then you can use the promo code POSE at checkout for 5% off, no minimum purchase required. Now that's pretty much it for the lighting segment of this video, but as mentioned earlier, I also wanted to show a behind the scenes look at some aerial poses that I recently shared on social media since I got quite a few requests for a quick tutorial. So for the Spider-Verse battle against Doc Ock, the first thing I did was remove a shelf to allow for enough vertical space. Then I just connected a few strands of sewing thread to the crossbars and placed Otto on his back to lay on it like a hammock. Fortunately, his robotic tentacles are strong enough to remain in place on their own, and I actually used them along with his jacket to hide the strings. Meanwhile, Tech Suit Spidey is just balanced at 2 points of contact with his foot stomping Otto and his left fist against the glass for stability. Granted, he'll probably fall over if a strong enough earthquake hits my area, but so far he's remained in place just fine for a few months. And since I wanted to convey a sense of downward motion, I pointed the hoodie strings up and also stuffed hobby wire under his jacket for a windswept motion. Now, for the small drones behind upgraded suit Spidey, they're very lightweight, so they're just stuck to the back wall using blue tack. But I did use hobby wire as a mounting bracket behind their guns to avoid smearing them in blue tack. And lastly, for the big drone, similar to Doc Ock and Doctor Strange, it's just hanging by a thread that's tied to the frame, then routed through the guns for stability so it doesn't spin around or sway back and forth too much. But there you have it, a quick overview for my new lights and a sneak peek behind some fun aerial poses. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, or perhaps found it informative and insightful. If you did, feel free to show your support with a thumbs up. Now, I know I haven't been able to produce new content as often as I'd like, but I'll continue sharing pics and pose ideas in between videos on social media when I can. Links are down below if you need them, but that's all I got for now. As always, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.